What's up, guys, and welcome to StrongSide. I'm Mike Marshall. That's Mike Palucci. This is Joe Diffie. If you have any questions, he's going to be in the show as well. Thank you for joining us. We are coming at you from the Haymaker Studio in Frisco. Not up in Frisco. We're just in Frisco. It's a centralized area.
Somewhere else.
Navigation-wise, it could be anywhere on your maps. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is StrongSide episode 8. We got a lot to get to. We have the great Jake Kemp from the Dumb Zone and from D Magazine joining us later. Looking forward to that very much. One of my oldest friends in this industry in the entire world. So excited for that. But first, let's get into our topics, Mike. Just jump straight into hot topics.
Yep.
Usually you couldn't pay me enough to talk about a Mavs Jazz game.
You weren't into that? You weren't setting your Monday night calendar for that?
No, not really. Okay. I didn't know it was happening, and then I saw everyone going crazy about it as the internet took it and ran with it. But Cooper Flagg, his statement game of his rookie season happened. 42 points, which is something that Luka Doncic never did as a rookie. And for those of you that might not remember that year, we were pretty sure he was good, but we weren't sure. Yeah. It was a pretty slow rookie year.
And he was a year older than what Cooper Flagg is.
Yeah. So a lot of accolades come with that whenever you are 18 and you drop 42.
Yep.
I know he tied Mark Aguirre for most points for a Mavs rookie. Mark Aguirre was significantly older at that time. So that's his game. That's his statement game.
Yeah.
Tell me how you felt, what happened, how he got there, because I honestly haven't watched all of it yet.
That, to me, is even better than the number, right? If you watch, you could just find a 2-minute cut-up of how he is scoring, and it's just like proof of concept for why this dude is really good. Because, one, no 18-year-old should be going left that well.
Yep.
And not only is he going left, he's scoring on lefty floaters. 18 years old, he's figuring that stuff out. But there was some of that. There was a pull-up 3, which, that's not his bag yet because the jumper is still a little bit of a ways away. There's a little Kobe-esque post-up turnaround type deal. There's a lot of barreling his shoulder. I mean, the case for this dude was always not even just he's amazing at all these things. It's just he's good at everything. And you saw a lot of that. There was just a lot of different ways he was getting what was hits. There were no gimmicks. There were moments when, the Jazz would double him and he didn't know what the hell to do yet. He's 18. I don't think the rest of the team know what to do either, and they're all older than he is, right? That's kind of where they are as far as a limited offensive engine beyond what he's doing. But there were a lot of times he's going left as a counter. And I think it's very good that, the Jason Kidd point guard experiment with him. I mean, the idealistic, I'm going to take everybody at their word version is just let's get this kid uncomfortable and let's teach him stuff. The more cynical version is I hate all my point guards. I don't know Ryan Nembhard. I don't know Ryan Nembhard's good yet, so you're going to do it just to prove a point. Whatever the case, he's still not that dude who's going to be he's not Luka. He's not taking the ball and is going to be a primary initiator. He's not going to be that guy who beats you off the dribble all the time. But even though the handle is going to use and get some polish for the next several years, this dude can get downhill and get to the paint already. That's the key. Even though he's still got muscle to put on, even though he's got polish needs, he already can say, I'm getting to the rack and bully some people and do things. And it was just very much proof of concept, right? Of like, well, why were people freaking out way too much in the first 10 games so he didn't look like a super duper star? Why was everybody super hyped about this guy for good reason when they won the lottery? Boom, that thing right there. And it was cool because it wasn't just watching. It was also just, if you looked at social media, it was probably the first time since Luka got traded. You know those nights when Luka was here. There'd be 5 to 10 a year where Luka's lines were so absurd. Everything, even a boring Luka game is just like a special game by most people's standards. But there'd be 5 to 10 times a year where you're seeing Twitter like, Luka's on one. Luka's doing things. This was the first, Cooper's on one game. Yeah. That was cool to be like, they can have this. Because with all due respect to, even if Anthony Davis had stayed healthy, nobody's going to care about it that way. Even if Kyrie had stayed healthy, people aren't going to get hyped for Kyrie's on one in quite the same way. Seeing a little bit of a sliver of excitement about this dude, like, hey, we're back. Yep. A little bit of that. That was kind of the undercurrent of this thing. And so if we want another cool statistical milestone here, he turns 19 on Sunday. They have 2 more games before that. If he cracks 61, he passes Kobe for the most ever by an 18-year-old, putting him right behind LeBron James, who, of course, Luka was compared to in all kinds of ways because it was just LeBron did this, now Luka did that. Well, now we've got LeBron did this and Cooper did that. It goes without saying that this thing is a long way from getting fixed. But need the reminder, Cooper Flagg, good at basketball.
Yeah, and I think the thing people don't quite understand whenever someone transitions to the NBA that is of his skill set, his size, his talent is I think offense is actually easier a lot of the times in the NBA for a dude that has – I mean, it was easier for Luka than it was in Eurobasket.
Well, and especially with the college guys because the college game is so cramped.
Yeah, it's extremely cramped.
Once they got competent spacing – I mean, again, we talked about this last time. Ryan Nembhard being in the lineup, even as just whatever you think Ryan Nembhard is, a competent point guard does so much for them. Playing Flagg at his natural position with a guy who's a real initiator, that alone – plus the natural spacing advantage you have versus a college where it's cramped, it really is a different game. So, offense totally comes easier, especially for the American guys playing in domestic ball.
Yeah, and to have that kind of point total and not generate the majority of it off threes.
Right.
That was the Luka trick. Why his numbers would get so, just out of this world insane at times is he dropped those 20-point first quarters. Yeah. That was kind of the Luka thing of, here's 20 on your head. Mm-hmm. The first 8 minutes that I play,
I'm going to front run on you.
Now you adjust.
Yeah.
You figure it out from here. I'll see you halfway through the second quarter, and I'll try it again and see if the three's falling. But to generate that kind of offense without just the cheat code of hitting 6 3-pointers in a night is very impressive. I'm not going to put too much stock into a Utah Jazz win in the middle of December.
It was kind of the best case scenario, right? Because you get the big Cooper Flagg game, and then if you are of the mind, as I am, and as I feel like everybody probably should be, of they better get that draft pick nice and good this year before they lose all their picks. They still lost.
Yeah, they still lost, which he said the right things, which I really, really liked. But yeah, that's the thing. Maybe it's fatalist, maybe it's long-term view, whatever you want. You got to have both whenever you're genuinely thinking and projecting where a team's going. I don't want the Anthony Davis trade, which I think is inevitable, needs to happen sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because your real opportunity to change the outcome of this roster in the next year is with having an extremely high draft pick.
Right.
That changes your trajectory immediately.
Yeah.
You have the 8th pick and the 9th pick. You can look at the percentages of where guys come from that end up on all NBA teams.
Well, and look, there's the counter arguments floating around there, and it's not wrong that they can only sink so low when there are a ton of Eastern Conference teams that are bad.
There are some really bad.
But here's the thing. The idea of, they can only get so bad. Why not see what you have with AD and Cooper, blah, blah, blah. He'll rehab his value more if he's on the floor. Why are you or anybody else assuming this man's going to stay on the floor? That assumes Anthony Davis will be on the floor. And we've talked about it on this show about how it's not his fault. He is trying to be on the floor. Mm-hmm. He almost went back in, with the Nico Harrison plan of, let's play in the calf strain. What's the worst going to happen?
Yep.
Achilles tear. So, they got to do it now. Whether or not the draft position is there, you never know when the bottom could fall out in Anthony Davis's health, and suddenly you have a completely sunk cost. They will not get anything close to what they paid to acquire Anthony Davis.
Right.
That's a given. But you could still get something because Anthony Davis is still young enough and is still a very good player. But each successive injury raises more and more questions. And for every person that says, he needs to be on the floor to rehab his trade value, that presumes he won't get hurt again.
Right.
And you can never presume that with Anthony Davis. So the second you get a halfway decent deal, even if that's 55 cents on the dollar, for the sake of making sure your asset has something that you can recoup and for we need this pick to be good, it's got to go.
Yeah, and I'm always of the mind when long-term team building, it's the earlier you declare whether you're trying to shoot the moon or not. The card game reference for y'all if you don't know how that works.
Big hearts guy over here.
Hearts, yeah. You have to declare it early. The earlier you declare, the better it is for you when you know your pointed direction, right? Because a lot of people have said a lot of things about, Mark's saying they're going for it now, and it's is Mark even involved in this thing? I have no idea. And then it's kind of obvious. There's constant chirps every week of this team is now interested in Anthony Davis. This team is not. The earlier you say that our future and our quickest way back to an NBA championship is with Cooper Flagg and AJ DeBanza or Darren Peterson or Boozer, and you realize that and you commit to that, that quickens everything, man. That makes all of it so much easier, especially on these interim GMs which I don't even know if they have the authority to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, who the hell knows? And it doesn't even have to be. Look, those 3 dudes that you just mentioned, far and away the best guys this draft. All of them could be players on par with Flagg. Do they get that pick? Probably not. But this is a good draft. This is a deep draft. If you're picking anywhere in the top 10, you are liable to land a good second piece to work this thing in with. So, yeah, they just have to get this going.
Yeah, it might make a real bummer January, February, March if AD is gone and your team's and Kyrie's not back and you're playing some crappy basketball. But I always think from the point of view, and I think everyone should, whenever they address these things, the next time we're competitive for a Western Conference title or an NBA title, what would that look like?
Yeah, and I also don't know if people at this point will be that sad because it's like, I think there's something we've learned for the past year. It's that people don't want to be treated as... to your point, when they made the Luka trade and it was, you guys aren't going to get it, but just trust us. We know what's best for you. It's almost infantilizing your fan base. If you are straight up with your fan base and say, listen, we're pivoting, didn't work the first time, but we've got Cooper Flagg. We know that this is not the product you deserve as a championship team. It hurts to trade AD now, but this will help us down the road because and I know that this is not a playoff team right now or maybe a play-in team, but not a contender. I don't think people are going to be that mad, especially because Jason Kidd's superpower is getting guys to play hard. They won't be getting blown out no matter what they do. There will be teams that they will beat that they shouldn't. There will be games against other bad teams that they will be in all the time. Like, it's not like you trade AD and you pack it in and they're getting smacked by 25 every night. That's not really how this team is going to operate. So I think they can rip the Band-Aid off. It's not going to sting quite as badly as they imagine it would.
Yep. All right, on to another team that can't think further than 7 days out.
Yeah, this one's no. Cowboys lost again. Lost to J.J. McCarthy. That takes work. But they did. Playoffs basically over. If Philly wins any of their games, it's over. The Cowboys, depending on your projection system, have between a 1% and 4% chance of getting in. Just abandon hope all you leave here. But there are 3 games left. One of them is against the Los Angeles Chargers, which is a good team. The other 2 are against the Giants and the Commanders, who are not good teams. So, okay, let's put the playoffs over here. We're not going to delude ourselves into thinking this 4% chance cashes in. No playoffs. What am I watching for these next 3 games? Why do we care? Because there's got to be stuff that still matters about this whole deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for guys that you want to keep around on the defensive side. I think your offense can I say something that's unpopular?
Please do.
I haven't really enjoyed watching CeeDee Lamb this year.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah.
Not that I need him to show me he's a great player.
Right.
The final 3 games of the season, but I mean, I'd really like him to, jog back to a huddle one time, and just act like he cares about football, every once in a while. It looks like he's bothered by playing football right now, and that's just a little something for me.
Big body language guy.
Just show me that you're locked into this the final 3 games, because you seem like he is on the just bipolar edge of not giving an F or really, really caring. It's one way or the other. And then whenever Pickens, maybe it's when Pickens isn't locked in, he's not locked in. I don't know what the situation is, but I'd love to see CeeDee Lamb be CeeDee Lamb the final 3 games and remind me why I gave you all that money, why you're a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, why this offense does not need to be tinkered with at all, except for maybe a running back replacement, right?
I honestly, with how cheap running back contracts are, but the fact that he's been good and the fact that people like him in the room, just pay Javonte a decent salary.
That's fine too.
You only have so many picks. It's not that great of a running back draft after Jeremiah Love. Why get cute with this?
Yeah.
And I know that's what they do at running back, but
what they do, they find a 55% success rate running back every other month. That's kind of what they do.
They do. My counter to that is, what if you don't?
Yeah.
What if you just say, you know what? This dude's pretty good. He's 25 years old. The pedigree was really good before these knee injuries. People like him here. Maybe I just don't mess around with this and I save a mid-round pick and I save myself in consternation of trying to figure out if my running backs are good and I let this thing ride.
Yeah, it depends what the number is, obviously.
Right,
and he's had a great year. He has a legitimately really, really good year, and he might expect this is the one contract I'm going to get, and he might play hardball, and he might go off for a week or two like Rico Dowdle and go shop some deals and might get one.
Maybe, but Rico didn't get a deal, right?
The money might be gone by the time he gets back.
That's the thing. The top shelf money at running back is still not prohibitively expensive. And he's not getting it anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
Like if he's going to the open market, guess what? Ken Walker's going to the open market too.
Yeah.
So people might just pay that guy who didn't blow out his knee in every possible way.
Yeah.
You know, right? So like you can pay him decent running back money, and that's still a drop in the bucket in terms of your overall cap sheet.
Yeah.
Either way, continue.
Yeah, no, I think you're looking for pieces on the defensive side that you want to keep.
Yep.
And they're trending the wrong direction. And that's why we were in this position to begin with.
Correct.
Is it course corrected for about 2.5 games? They didn't really slow down Mahomes despite winning that game. You're looking for defensive pieces that can hold up throughout the season, number one, because you're anticipating we're a playoff team next year.
Have to be.
If you can't play 15-plus games in a season and you're a short-term guy or a part-time player, like you can go over there and hang out with Trayvon Diggs. Thank you.
I don't think Trayvon Diggs will be hanging out.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
he's not going to be hanging out around here. But you're looking for things that you are comfortable with on the defensive side. Is Ezaraku what we think he is? Does he hold up in December and in the last 3 weeks of the season? You know what Quinnen is, right? I think you know what Overshone is. I think you're running your defense and looking for guys that can play above their paper because almost nobody is right now. You need to go out there the final 3 weeks of the season and say, throw the freaking cash up against the wall and go like, you want that? Go out there and play, dude. Somebody go out there, make a play and play above your paper because no one's having a career year. Nobody's made better by the scheme. Nobody on the defensive side I can go like, oh, well, at least we got that locked down. Besides Quinnen Williams, who you had to give up first for. And a
2.
Yeah, and was the long-term cost of giving up Micah.
Yeah.
And so.
Can I put another name out there?
Absolutely.
Can we figure out how we feel about Deron Bland?
Yes.
Because that's a dude who kind of got your virtue signaling contract in the wake of Micah when you're just like, oh, no, we pay guys. You get a contracted. You get a contracted. You get a contract.
Yeah.
And so he gets his
money. Not
money.
you.
but not you, George Pickens. Not you.
Yeah.
But he gets his money. And it's so funny. I was talking with David Moore about this on the phone the other day, and I was like, I'm so used to knowing exactly how to calibrate the dudes who are the stars in this team and knowing which ones are the stars in this team. And yet here's a guy who they pay to be a star. He's not bad by any stretch. He's not great. But I'm not sure what is going on. And that's not what you should be getting for top 10 corner money. And certainly the context of how he got his deal really factors in that. You can't treat him like a top 10 corner, even though they treated him like that, which is this type of silly situation this team gets itself into a lot. But can he be a credible top corner at top 10 money? Or is he, he's just like luxury number 2 on top 10 corner money? And I don't know. I'm not used to seeing guys on this team who I'm like, I know there's some flavor of good, but not great. But I don't know which flavor of good that is.
Yeah.
It's a weird spot, and they need to know because that changes the shape of your secondary a lot to mean what you can or can't trust them to do.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody in this secondary, anybody along the defense really loves the Eberflus scheme.
Why would they? It's not making anybody's lives easier.
Yeah, Trayvon had problems with it early on, I think. I think Bland's probably not loving it right now. But specifically on roster, I think on offense, you're definitely considering tight end and running back as well as Jake Ferguson played early in the season. I need a more consistent tight end. Like, sorry, if you can get a difference maker out of that position like he was for about 6 weeks there.
Well, he was in part because CD's not playing, right?
Yeah,
and so if you're going to funnel the targets to the 2 receivers and not really give them much burn. I mean, that was always a thing before Pickens was that Dak loved using the tight end as a second option. Whether he loved that or it was by default because I don't think I have a bona fide number 2 receiver. I don't know. To me, I don't know how much of this is on Ferguson because it's like this is when you were the third dude and you have maybe the best 1-2 punch at receiver in the game. I'm not expecting so much out of you. Now, what I am expecting and what we didn't get in Detroit is when you get the ball, you have to do the reliable thing.
That's the thing. That's the thing. When those guys aren't hitting, when another team has the players or scheme to shut those guys down.
Yeah.
All right, buddy, it's your time.
Yeah.
Go up there, take control of it.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's contribute a little bit. And he was a negative.
Yeah.
He was detrimental to their team's success in those games. And he has been for a handful of weeks now, whether it's penalties or dropping balls or he just, I could do with a better tight end. For as good as this offense is right now, I think you can get a better tight end consistently or someone to pair with him.
I think that's probably it because they just extended him on real money.
I know. And all these guys that I want to replace, they just extended. And so it becomes this problem of okay, I can't cap short myself for the next 3 or 4 years because Deron Bland's not good enough, because Jake Ferguson's not good enough.
If they had just stopped at, we'll do the Tyler Smith extension now and save the bullets for later when we need to pay George Pickens, and when I would argue, I'm not normally a big pay the kicker guy, but you have a unique weapon at kicker.
Yeah.
And just make sure that gets done. And let's see what we have at Deron Bland. Let's see what we have at Jake Ferguson. Because they got Jake Ferguson, who is, look, to be clear, like, he's a good NFL starter.
Yeah.
You know, they got him because they had another good NFL starter in Dalton Schultz, and like, we could replace that.
Yeah.
So if you don't get over your skis and try to win the PR battle for a random 2 weeks to pay this guy, you could have just been like,
take the heat off for a second.
Yeah, you could have just said, here's our big deal with the best left guard in football.
Yeah. And
we'll let you chill. And if we feel like we can upgrade, great. And if we don't want to, then we'll just give you your money then. We didn't have to – nobody had to back themselves into a corner here.
Yeah.
And that feels like what Dallas just did.
And I think Jerry this week said that the final 3 weeks he was going to be evaluating Matt Eberflus.
Yeah. And we'll talk to Jake about that. He wrote a great piece about that Monday.
I don't know what you're getting out of that, to be honest. And, like, the biggest betrayal of Eberflus in his second stint here happened this last week when you let J.J. McCarthy put 30 on your head.
Oof.
That's the worst thing Matt Eberflus has done to me personally.
He's wronged you.
Yes, he's wronged me.
He has wronged you.
He has absolutely wronged me.
He let the lamest human being on earth do the gritty into the end zone. That's just...
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
When J.J. McCarthy is serving burgers at the local bar in Ann Arbor in 7 years, you're going to remember that grit.
Remember the day that Jonathan James put 30 on our head at home, and we did nothing about it. And Jalen Naylor took our lunch money. You can't have that and keep that person around. Like, I'm sorry, the final 3 weeks of the season, they could be lights out. Dude, they could be the freaking 85 Bears or something. I wouldn't give an S. Like, that was so bad when you needed them to be just okay. Yeah. They gave up on Flus. And it's the worst thing I could say about somebody, and that isn't derogatory, like straight on the face derogatory about someone in a role, is like, your role doesn't really matter. You have zero impact on our success here at the company, at our football team. You have 0% effect on whether we win or lose. And that's how I feel about Eberflus. I feel like if you put traffic cones up there on defense, the traffic cones would bat a ball down every once in a while, or cause a turnover every once in a while. And so Jerry can say he's watching Eberflus the final 3 weeks of the season. I'm not. My decision's made up.
Yeah.
My decision's made up.
I do think if there are outcomes that matter, I don't think they can go worse than probably 2-1 to make people feel good, right? You drop the Chargers game, you win the next two. I think people are like, okay, fine. You did what you're supposed to do. You win the Chargers game, and I guess you drop the two division games, then it's, okay, you beat a good team, but then you lost to just the dregs of the league and what's really improved. And then, God forbid, if you lose all three, everybody's mad, right? So I think you can make the ritual blood sacrifice of Matt Eberflus in the offseason, no matter how many games you win or lose. But if the whole goal, and to be clear, like, I don't think the whole goal is making anything easier on your head coach, because otherwise you don't trade Micah Parsons a week before the season starts. But if you believe in Schottenheimer at all, you need to hope that they win a couple of these games so that people aren't sitting here amid the myriad other things like, how do we fix this defense? And do we have a tight end? And what do we think about all these things? You don't want to add the resurgence of the shoddy dialogue there, right? You don't need a bunch of people like me who are already skeptics. I'm in the minority right now. I was the majority in the beginning. Now I'm in the minority again. You don't want more of me out there to deal with on top of all of your very real personnel things and the timeline of, oh, we really need to be in the playoffs next year.
No.
So if you win 2 games out of these 3, if nothing else, it gets people to be quiet. And then when you not inevitably, but we'll say likely get rid of Matt Eberflus, then you inspire some optimism, and then you do a couple things, and then people are back into the start of the year.
Let's be realistic. They're going to dump 2 first-round picks into the defense.
Absolutely. As they should.
And so whoever is coaching this defense,
if they get a right tackle, just for funsies, like, let's just go get another offensive lineman.
That'd be hilarious. They get another first-round Tyler.
Yeah.
We got one of those. Fourth Tyler.
We got one of those out there.
They're going to dump 2 first-round picks in this defense.
Yeah.
And if you can't level off, like the person that steps in, they're going to be considered at the end of next year. My prediction is the DC for the Dallas Cowboys is going to be considered for head coaching jobs because they're going to be better and they're going to be improved, and it's not going to be Matt Eberflus. It's going to be fill in the blank here, And God almighty, have a real coaching search. Bring in people that aren't buddies of yours, that you don't play golf with, that haven't coached here before.
Have to play golf.
Don't bring in a Mike Zimmer and then a Matt Eberflus. Like, what are you doing? Like,
call up Wade. Can Wade come out of retirement? Is that a thing we could do?
They would do it in a second.
They absolutely would.
They would do it if he was spry. I guarantee you. Yeah. But have a real coaching search for a DC, man. Like,
it'd be nice.
Find the person that's best for the job if you're actually trying to win again.
It'd be good.
Try to win. Matt Eberflus is clearly not the right guy for the job, and you're going to dump 2 first-round picks onto this defense. They should stabilize. All the metrics will be, well, look at this. Last year, the Cowboys gave up the most yards per game to other quarterbacks. Now they're 16th. Let's credit that to, look what Robert Saleh or fill in the blank has done this season. That's going to be the Monday night thing that Troy is talking about each week.
You have a below replacement level. We'll use the baseball term. You have the below replacement level defensive coordinator now.
Yes.
So you just get replacement level, much less good.
Yeah.
But if you get a replacement level one, there's improvement. If you do a real search and hire like normal people, you could get a good one.
Yeah.
And then suddenly this thing is really cooking with gas, because I don't care how inept a lot of this stuff is. If you have a good defensive coordinator, this offense can't really be worse than top 7. If you keep most of this personnel together, it's just not going to be.
Yeah, and God forbid we get some health on the offensive line next year.
Yeah.
Where you're not starting your 3rd string left
Which
tackle.
is a testament to the job Schottenheimer has done, because this has been musical chairs in the offensive line, and they keep doing things. And he's a play caller as well as the head coach. Like, he deserves his flowers for that.
Yeah.
So
and the offense is going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Go talk to Brandon Staley. Go talk to a Dennis Allen. Go talk to the dudes that can coach their ass off on the defensive side that can make a difference.
God forbid you try, because they don't like this. They never try to get the young, interesting person other than Kellen Moore, because Kellen worked here.
Yeah.
But go get a Jim Leonard.
Yeah.
Go get a Jim Leonard and let him do his thing, right? Like, if you don't want to spend primo established coordinator money, go get the next big thing.
Yeah.
Don't just do the retread who used to work here.
Yes. Just somebody that makes a difference.
Yeah.
A positive difference on your defense, because you're going to dump the resources into it. And you can't do the same excuse for multiple years.
No.
We can't sit here. We can't be sitting here week 12 next year and go, well, yeah, I wish Jerry would have gave him a chance. I wish Jerry gave that defense a chance, but the Micah stuff and the whatever. Like, how many NFL seasons do these guys have? Do coaches have? And you're wasting multiple seasons by just kicking yourself in your other foot.
The clock is the Dak Prescott clock.
Yes.
He is 33 years old this offseason.
It is so
How
Romo.
many are you sure? Maybe it's Matt Stafford. Maybe he's still ticking in 5 years at a primo level. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Tony Romo was done in a year.
Yeah.
Nobody thought it was going to end that fast, right? 33 years old. Can't be wasting time.
Yeah.
Next year.
It's getting so Romo.
Yeah.
It is
minus the chronic injury. There's no smoking gun yet.
No.
But once you're in your 30s,
there's no telling, man. One can just be the one.
Enough of these people. We need to talk about the most competent football coach in Dallas.
Yeah. So Bob Stoops, most people probably know him from Sooner fame.
Mm-hmm.
Winning as coach in Sooner history, right? Barry doesn't have a better win percentage, I don't think.
I mean, well, I say, are you talking about him or Bud Wilkinson? He's the guy. He's the last guy to have won a national title there.
Yeah, he's the last guy. Well, they're on the rise a little bit right now, but I was gonna say the last guy that made Oklahoma like significantly relevant into January. Bob Stoops is a badass. There's no way around it. Went over to the XFL recently and won a championship back in 2023, but he's decided that that's enough for him.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the legacy of Bob Stoops in football, Oklahoma across the board.
So I think it's worth remembering, Bob Stoops left Oklahoma when this was the year before Baker Mayfield won the Heisman, right? Mm-hmm. They're getting their BCS bowls. They're beating Texas's ass every 2 out of every 3 years. He's really good. Mm-hmm. He's constantly good. He quit at 56. That's a baby in coaching circles. Mm-hmm. Pete Carroll's 73. He's still doing it in the NFL. There are college coaches who just keep going back for more and more and more. And he had the machine. He had the blue blood job. They were never going to kick him out because he didn't quite, he won that national title in 2000, right? So he spent more than 10 years afterwards not quite getting there. But he kept, every time he fell down the mountain, he would reinvent himself, climb a little higher again. He could have done this another 10 years. And he didn't. And I profiled Stoops when he first started with the Renegades. The Arlington Renegades is where Bob Stoops coached. I know there are people watching the show being like, he coached in Dallas? There's a team in Arlington that won a championship. A team in Arlington won a championship, guys, because Bob Stoops, most competent professional football coach we have in this city, even if you didn't know he was a professional football coach in the city. But I did a piece when he started, because the XFL was supposed to start before COVID.
Yeah.
And his quarterback at the time was Landry Jones, who was his guy at Oklahoma. And I did a piece on them and their whole reunion together. And his offensive coordinator at the time was Hal Mummy, the dude who made the air raid, right?
Yep.
So Hal Mummy and I were talking, and he told me, he was just like, I told Stoops before he started doing this thing, I was like, why the hell are you doing this? You're the only person who ever did it right in coaching. And what he meant by that was that Stoops basically decided, still fairly in the prime of his life, in his mid-50s in good health, at the top of his profession in college, was just like, I don't need this. And he quits, wants to see his kids play high school ball. He coaches in the XFL, which became the UFL, solely because it's a spring schedule and he got to actually have balance in his life, and he could commute down from Norman. It didn't consume his life. This dude could have taken any college job he ever wanted to if he went back. He probably could have flirted some NFL jobs. He didn't. He just is a model. When I think of what Bob Stoops is, it's one part being damn good at his job and winning titles and all that, but really a lot of it is just like, you don't have to be a psycho. You can do this job and not sacrifice all of your humanity to do this job at a high level. And you can decide, because a lot of his contemporaries have not made this decision. I'm thinking about an Urban Meyer. You could decide, hey, this is one part of my deal. And if I win one national title and I have family and I have a life and I have interests and I'm the king of Norman, Oklahoma, cool, bro.
Yeah.
If I want to coach professionally because I still enjoy it and I'm good at it and it isn't every part of my being, cool, bro. And when I'm done doing this and I'm 65 and I'm just like, yeah, I could keep going, but why? Cool, bro. So that's Bob Stoops to me. Bob Stoops is going to be a dude who, like, if you want to be one of those weird, like, grind culture weirdos and say, like, he left it on the table, what if he put even more of himself in there? What if he took another job? No, man, because the reality is that most normal human beings, well-adjusted ones, would love Bob Stoops' career of, I achieved it at the highest level, and I didn't let that be my whole deal and sacrifice everything else that actually mattered. So good for that guy, man.
He's one of the last handful of college coaches that were successful at that level.
Yeah.
That reminded me more of like a congressman than a real estate agent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like all the guys now, I'm like, I don't know, you seem kind of slimy. Like, I don't like you. You seem like
that's the Urban thing, right?
Yeah. Like you would kick somebody down the stairs to get a recruit or to like, help you along the way. And it was Bob Stoops and Mac Brown, just normal ass dudes that happened to really love football.
Yeah.
That just went at it for however long that was, a decade there in the Texas. And those are just, he was just a normal guy that expected this much out of football. And when you reach this much, thank you. I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
Had enough. And I thought it was cool that he went to the XFL. Like, you got to try something. And for anybody that is just over a certain age to keep challenging yourself, that always impresses me because it's so easy not to.
Yeah. He didn't have to do anything.
No.
And he did stuff for a while, and now he's earned the right not to do anything. Good for that guy.
Let's get Bob Stoops on the show. Talk ball with Stoops.
Fuck yeah, let's go. In the meantime, there's actual college football going on right now. I'm a college football playoff curmudgeon. All right. I'm a big believer that the BCS was good, actually. And we'll get to that on this show sometime, but we're not going to do that right now. It doesn't take a lot to sell me on the games starting next week. They're going to be good. When you have a bunch of home games this week against some schools that if this were week one, we wouldn't be paying attention to it, but now we're masquerading. This is a big, big, big deal. Kind of harder for me to get hyped about this, but I want to be hyped about it. I want to be hyped about college football. You're always hyped about football. Give me stuff to care about this weekend. Like, break my cynicism, Mike. Help me.
So I think the long-term view of this weekend is I'm always going to be, here's my priorities. Okay. Here's my priorities the next 2 weekends, right? I want Joey to win a playoff game. I want my guy, Joey McGuire. He's not playing this weekend, but whoever wins out of James Madison in Oregon gets to go out to Lubbock and have a time with that team, the best Tech team probably since the Michael Crabtree team back in the day.
Possibly better.
Probably, maybe better.
I trust this team a lot more than I trusted.
No, very, very much so. Alabama, Oklahoma, I'm not really interested in. sorry, y'all can throw rocks at each other and kick dirt in each other's general vicinities.
I feel like it's here's what it is. It is the ultimate trap that you are escaping and I won't. Because I'm going to look. And I'm going to see blue blood.
If you get off,
I'm going to see a narrow spread.
Yeah.
I'm going to see a game that should be close.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get sucked in, and I'm going to burn 3 hours of my life watching terrible football. Whereas you, an enlightened person, are like, I don't have to do this.
I don't need to do this. Yeah. Blue bloods don't interest me at all in college football anymore.
See, I went to a blue blood, so I inherently am interested in the blue bloods. It's my catnip.
I want what's happening. If maroon helmet versus maroon helmet or a Michigan helmet or whatever, like, gets you going, gets your rocks off in college football, like, dude, go for it. I get it. That's why college football is so cool. You can like it for a variety of reasons. Alabama, Oklahoma, I will not watch a second. I don't give a crap about that game. Ole Miss versus Tulane
that's your jam?
Might be my most interesting game of the weekend. Okay. Ole Miss, with what has happened over the last month of them getting – hey, is Lane going to leave? No, he wouldn't do that. Lane's definitely leaving.
Take it as a man who covered the Lane Kiffin getting canned of the tarmac.
Yeah.
Never know what you get with the Lane experience, man. That's how it goes.
I can't imagine anybody on that Ole Miss team is really fired up to play some more football, or if they've just been dragged through this shit for over a month now, dealing with their head coach who wanted to stay and coach. And then Tulane's a good football team. Like, I think North Texas.
Who also was abandoned by their coach. John Summerall's going to Florida.
Yeah, but I think he's coaching in this game, isn't he?
He might be. But either way, it's the end of something.
He, unlike some other guys that have taken jobs at other schools, he has committed to not stealing any players from Tulane.
I didn't know that. I like that.
Yeah, and he's committed to, I think, giving them a decent amount of money that he didn't have to.
Good for that guy.
To just a contribution to their football. He seems like a really great dude. His coaching staff might be too aggro and taking too much zinc and T-pills because they are weirdos on the sideline. Summerall seems like a genuinely great dude and football coach. Florida got a good coach.
Yeah.
I think they might give Ole Miss some fits, man.
Okay.
I think that might be upset alert pretty quickly.
Interesting. I could see, my thing with Ole Miss is it could go the way you're thinking, or it could go the other way of like,
just steamroll.
Screw that dude who left us.
Yeah.
We're going to show him. This is going to be a warm-up for what we're going to do to LSU next year, which is, you want to leave us? You think you're better off? No, man.
Yeah.
I think the one that really intrigues me the most is A&M and Miami because it's two very talented teams. We already saw them play a good game this year. It is also two teams that could just combust at any point.
The most fragile teams that, for whatever reason, I know why Aggie's fragile. I experience it every year. They win the first 6 games and then
the South Carolina looked like it was different. And then the Texas game.
But then maybe the signal out of that is actually like getting down that much to South Carolina should be the red flag.
It was, but
you know
yeah. Well, and then you have Miami, who has one of the more hilarious coaches in the country, which is Mario Cristobal, who could do everything right until about 7.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
And I should clarify, they didn't play each other. I think it's my brain going transitive property of you play Notre Dame and you play Notre Dame, therefore you played each other. Not really how it went. But I am intrigued because, again, two brand name schools. So, my juice is flowing here.
Yeah.
Both are liable to do exciting things. Both are liable to do really stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
That is
it's going to mean a lot to whatever team. Like this is they're both probably going to get fed to Ohio State and just truck sticked for an entire afternoon.
It's blocking sleds.
Against at the Cotton Bowl game, but it's going to be the most significant win for whoever steps out of that with a W in a really for Aggie a really long time if they advance. And then Miami, Miami, it's back to Clinton Portis era of when they were.
We have had so many versions and remixed versions of Miami's back, and Miami hasn't been back.
No, they never get back.
They never back. But if you win this game, you're kind of back. And Mike Elko is in everybody's good graces. Mario Cristobal, we're getting to that point now where people are getting a little testy.
Yeah.
So Mario Cristobal wins this game. It's, hey guys, I got this. So that's the one that really intrigues me.
That'll probably be the tightest game. The one that I think
you sold me though on the Ole Miss Tulane thing.
Man. I think that'll Miami versus A&M is going to be last possession to me.
Okay.
I think that's last possession. I think A&M's going to win. I believe. Tulane Ole Miss can be the most significant outcome to me. If Tulane advances to the next round as a team out of the American, because of, you can write whatever circumstance you wanted about Lane Kiffin, about whatever happened to Ole Miss late in the season, about blah, 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 the players. You know what? The history book does not give a damn. And the check that Tulane's going to get doesn't give a damn, doesn't affect anything. You can put the context all around it. An American team advancing past an SEC stalwart team. Ole Miss isn't quite blue blood, but, they're on the fringe.
Been around a long time.
Yeah.
Best 6-year run in program history.
Yes.
Yeah.
It won't matter that Lane Kiffin.
No, nobody's remember that. Nobody will remember that.
They'll remember the time Tulane got to the quarterfinal. And I think they can do it. I watched that team. They played really effing hard for a whole game. That coach is really good. They got a quarterback that can make some plays and make a difference. We'll check in on Alabama, Oklahoma. Everyone else can let me know how that goes. And then James Madison.
I'll report back.
James Madison. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
That's the epitome of this is going to be fun. It won't be fun.
Yeah.
No.
And the main reason I watch these playoff games is because typically this is about the time of the season where the Cowboys start fading. So I start trying to look at next year's draft. I start looking at the playoff teams, and these guys can jump around. They can make a lot of money around in the draft, not just jumping in general vicinities of each other. A round or two in the draft, these guys that are significant contributors in this playoff bracket. I want to watch David Bailey from Tech because he might be a top 20 pick guy, right? I want to see Dante Moore. I haven't had a chance to watch any Dante Moore. They're always playing so damn late, and then they smoke everybody, so he's done by the third quarter. I haven't seen any Dante Moore. I want to know what Dante Moore's about if he comes out. It's usually me looking at prospects at this point in the season. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm adding to the notebook of, okay, is Mendoza the guy I think he is? Just that type of stuff.
Yep.
But there is money on the table to be had in these playoffs for a lot of prospects. Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. Maybe future Cowboy. Keep an eye on that guy, like Ruben Bain from Miami. I want to see what these dudes do. And then, of course, Ohio State's entire defense. Straight up the middle. 95, 0.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Sonny Styles.
Sonny Styles is the one that I'm keeping a whole big eye on for this Cowboys linebacker.
Caleb Downs. It's like an old school baseball team. It's like catcher, pitcher, shortstop, second.
Right up the middle. Yeah.
Right up the middle. Those dudes are going to be top 20 picks. So that's when I lock in because I don't, I'll pick a side when I'm forced to. Whenever we get down to the final four, I'll be like, I'd rather this team win or that team win just for storylines.
Not yet.
But I don't care right now of W's and losses. Besides Aggie, I'd like Aggie to win. I'd like them to, as people that hold their chest out and are all proud and, Aggie's never lie, cheat, or steal, and we don't tolerate it either from other people. All that shit they do. To actually have something to be proud about in their football team.
I got a lot of A&M friends, man.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. I'd love that. And then number one thing I'm rooting for though is Joey McGuire,
your guy
out of Texas Tech, and hopefully they're playing a couple weeks from now, whenever they get to the Final Four, the semifinals.
I really think they have a better chance than people think.
Yeah.
That defense is disgusting, and they have a quarterback who knows what he's doing. And if you have those two things, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yep.
All right, we'll talk to Jay Kemp. Let's get moving on that in a minute. Joining us now from the Dumb Zone and from StrongSide at dmagazine.com, our good pal, your good favorite writer and personality, Jay Kemp.
Hey,
there he is.
StrongSide.
Hey.
Print media.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
This place is beautiful.
We own it all, so thank you.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It's complimenting like your parents' house.
Yeah.
Put a lot of money into it.
Yeah, that's true. But
I'm in
good
debt
vibe.
now. Yeah.
It's a good vibe. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to you about both the teams you write about. It's going to be a good time. We're talking about other stuff too, but let's start with this. I love you because you're a big picture dude, right? Every time you write a piece, even if it's off whatever game we watched and that you and I are talking about at 11 o'clock at night before you write a column, you have the big picture angle. So as the season is basically over, amid all of the chaos and all of the bullshit and all of Brian Schottenheimer aphorisms, what is the story of the 2025 Dallas Cowboys season?
I think the story is still the mismanagement of their roster during a period of time when they have the one thing that everybody's looking for in the NFL, which is a quarterback that if you give a competent roster, you have a decent chance of making a playoff run. Now, in Dak's case, that's much more hypothetical than realistic, but I think we've seen enough that he's one of the guys. There may be 8 to 12 of them in the league at any given time. He's still one of them. And every year that you have one of those guys on your team and you're not a threat in January, you've got to consider that a failure and ask questions why. And in the case of this year, it's because the things came home to roost regarding them not staggering their contracts properly, and their some draft picks that have gone poorly that have come home. But even at the time that those draft picks were made, they were most of the Cowboy misses are straight departures from the consensus board.
Yep.
And so I guess it's just the story of this season. Despite some big wins, I think that the arrows pointed up. It's another year of Dak's career where they're not even going to make the playoffs, let alone threaten for a championship. So every year you have that. Now the thing is that they're still somehow lucky enough through having Dak, through having Romo, to be in these situations where half the teams in the league are not having this good problem of what do we do with a franchise quarterback we found and developed. But they're in that tier, and among that tier, consistently the worst of that ilk of organizations. So I'd say it's the story of it is that it's not even just the Micah trade. They had problems before that.
Yeah.
They had problems with how did you end up with your quarterback making $60 million a year and your the holdout with CD that cost you continuity that year, you still ended up paying him. It was just things were already a bit messy before the Micah trade, and then I think ultimately, the Micah trade did for this year make them a less competitive team.
I think we all like Shoddy. We like the bits. We like the critters in the house. We like the Twister's voice. This week I've noticed everyone falling over themselves to make excuses for, he was stepping into a not great situation.
Did not watch the closing segment last week on the show. That's the moral of the story.
The Micah Parsons thing. I mean, how could you possibly win with the Micah Parsons situation going on? And then Trayvon and just we're getting to a point with the Cowboys in which you can't judge them accurately because things up top, the top of funnel is so effed up.
Yeah.
But you still have to decide whether or not his play calling is having a positive effect, whether he's good at what he does. How do you feel the job Brian Schottenheimer has done this season? How do you feel about it?
Well, the flip side of having to deal with the internal locker room, qualitative, soft skill type struggles of Micah, of Trayvon, frankly, of Marshawn Nealon's death, suicide. The flip side of that, not to be callous, is he's a first-year head coach that walked into a situation with the quarterback we just talked about, with the wide receiver we just talked about, and George Pickens. Yeah. Like, not many first-time play callers, first-time head coaches are going to say, we're going to be like, well, what does your offense look like? Well, let's start with these three guys. There's not even like a young player in there. Like, there's not even like a Tet McMillan. Like, these are established players that he's calling plays for.
Yeah, it's not what Liam Cohen was handed.
Exactly.
Right?
And even the situation up front, while not what it was, half a decade ago, it's still, there are a lot worse situations in the league. So it's been mixed. I think that it's tough to evaluate because we do so much expectation setting, and the bar was so low for Shoddy that, maybe it was too low. I think his lack of conviction regarding aggressiveness, fourth down, field goals, these sorts of things, that's what worries me the most, because I'm not sure that I've seen too many guys change their stripes on that over the years. Like Dan Campbell came in like that.
Right.
And many others that have come in like that. They just come in like that.
It was like a DNA thing.
Yeah, maybe Belichick over time, but I bet if you went back to the 80s, Belichick had some ideas then that were considered not that conventional. So I've thought that throughout the year he's done a decent job of picking up first downs, of moving the ball between the 20s, but that's where it's the easiest.
Yeah.
So the red zone's been a little bit of a struggle, and fourth down and the field goal thing. That worries me a little bit, that he might just be a possibly cooler, in his own mind at least, and maybe better version of Jason Garrett. But that tracks, right? Like, that's what they want to hire. They don't want to hire a guy who's here to reinvent the wheel or try to, or even, I even think, I'd heard Bones was a little bit too like, ooh.
Is he one of ours?
Yeah, so that's why, I think he's about as good as you could expect for a Cowboys coach, which is pretty good.
So, yeah, that's also.
But I think there's a definite
that
ceiling
sentence
on
really
that.
explains just a lot of this whole
Yeah.
deal right
Yeah.
there. About as good as you could expect for what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Look, so really, like you said at the top, this whole deal revolves around Dak, which means that every little bit of future planning, we could sit here and we're going to nerd out this summer about the draft and all these first-round picks, as I'm sure we will on this website too. But really, all of this is going to come down to how many prime years Dak has. So how many years should anybody realistically be expecting? Turns 33 in July. You get people like Matthew Stafford, who's still doing it in his late 30s, the back that's made of like Swiss cheese, but that can't be the assumption. How long should anybody realistically think you can care about Cowboys football in this cycle before Dak's not able to carry the load anymore and then things get really ugly?
Well, there's obviously no way to know. He gets those injuries he's had have been, it feels like they've just been random.
Yeah, it's not the Romo, your back is
exactly.
in trouble.
Or, you know, the people were always a little bit worried Romo wasn't taking care of himself, you know, and I never get that vibe with Dak.
Right.
I always get the vibe that he's, you know, a consummate professional, et cetera. And then the other thing that's, I guess, sort of a silver lining is he's displayed for like half a decade now that he can be an effective quarterback without much athleticism. So as much as we complain about, like, man, it would be so nice if there was another element to this offense, which, by the way, is another side topic that will not get covered this year because they're not going to make the playoffs. But they would, if they had a second running back this year that they legit trusted, like, I don't know, Rico Dowdle with Javonte Williams, this offense would look so much different. But in any case, I do think that that's important because I think going forward, they know that. And if it's about extending Dak's career, the Jaden Blue flyer, that doesn't help Dak at all. You know, that might help somebody 3 years from now. But in any case, I don't think it's crazy to think that he's got 3 to 5 years left in him. I mean, he's not an athletic player. He's got to be one of the 3 to 5 least threatening athletic players at his position in the NFL.
People don't want to accept that because they remember old Dak.
Of course.
And, you know, every now and then he breaks off a run where you're like, oh, it's still in there. Why doesn't he do it more? But that is the actual reality of what this is.
Yeah, I mean, he's on par athleticism-wise with Stafford. And honestly, throughout the period of time that we've seen the decline athletically, his processing and his arm have anticipation have picked up. I mean, he's great. He's just great at playing old man quarterback now. And so it will really – I think it'll probably come down to like – and this sucks because there's just no way to predict it. He just has one more big one, and he's like, I don't know that you can come back from that. You know, when you're 35 – breaking your ankle is not the same as when you're 29.
Yeah.
So, but I think they'll plan they'll expect it to go longer than anybody reasonably should. And, you know, then they'll be in a spot where that things don't line up.
It'll be whatever the end is. -2 years will be like the reasonable amount of time.
And he plus 2.
That money.
Yeah.
That's how the Cowboys work. You wrote this week about Flus, Matt Eberflus, and how his time here is hopefully drawing to an end. Nothing against the man, just you know, we need to move on with this thing. And then, you know, there were a handful of people, I think, namely Jane Slater was going out of her way to say, well, the Micah trade, he dealt him the cards. You know, you can't really judge him. And there's been a lot of Cowboys media going out of their way to say, like, excuse, can't judge because of this. Counterpoint to the counterpoint that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's one quick thing is, like, I'm not in the room. I'm not a reporter, and so I think that a lot of times the context that reporters provide by being there, maybe it is like, you know, like going to bat for them or something, but it really is just the context of them explaining that person's personal situation because they know it, right? Like she talks, I'm sure, to Matt Eberflus, and she's kind of just offering the human perspective. I'm saying I don't fault her or be like, oh, you're a homer for that. There's plenty of people who do stuff like that. I don't think that's what that is. I think it's kind of just adding context to it. But it sucks. It's like a lot of things in life. It's not his fault that he's not doing well in this job. It was a bad fit from the start. Then you have the Micah thing. Really, I feel like the reason he was hired, obviously he has a Cowboy connection, but it's because he was a head coach, and they're like hedging against what if Shoddy like shits his pants.
Yeah,
and they're like, all right, what do we do now? He's been a good coordinator before, but the truth is, dude, as I wrote in there, I think Shoddy is a nice executive, but I think Clayton Adams installed their offense. If we had time, you can sit down and compare this year's offense and last year's offense. Who was a part of both of them? Brian Schottenheimer. Like, it's different this year because Clayton, in my opinion, Clayton Adams designed a different offense. They need someone to do that defensively. Mm-hmm. And I think Matt Eberflus could probably still be like a good head coach maybe, or a mid-head coach. But I think the game, the way the defense is called now is different.
Yeah.
And he's great if I'm looking to stop, like I think I said, Drew Brees 10 years, whatever. Like I just feel like Eberflus's era is gone. You've got to do more. You've got to bring more pre-snap. You've got to do more pattern matching rather than just kind of this is what we are. And that asks a lot more of your players, but that's just the way the league is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
you kind of have to try to blitz. That's the ultimate. That's the trump card here. It's like we could sit here and all these caveats are true. He was put in a bad situation. The personnel changed, this, that, and the other. You know what he can't control? Deciding that maybe if I'm playing one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in J.J. McCarthy, pressuring more than one time, maybe doing a little more of that.
Yeah, and it's it's analogous to Shoddy on offense, where if they try something and it doesn't work, it seems to have an outsized effect on like we burned our hand on the stove thing. Well, you're not creating any positive results along the way, so you've got to risk taking some negative ones.
Yeah,
and that's just it's not going to work. It's just time. They just need a turnover. They just need to set something with the timeline of Shoddy and Dak and the defensive players that they have that are youngish and try to establish something there.
We just saw a group that lost Daniil Hunter.
Exactly.
Brian Flores had a direct impact on the result of that game.
Exactly.
And the worst thing I can say about a person is that your job does not impact winning or losing, really.
Yeah.
And that's what I say about Flus right now. I'm like, man, you don't matter. It just doesn't matter. You're not impacting the game. And we see so many defensive coordinators. Now, whether or not they're empowered to do that, that's a whole other layer of conversation. But that was like the ultimate betrayal to me, to not go down swinging in a game that you absolutely have to have to stay alive. And you're just down there doing chicken shit vanilla defense stuff again.
Yeah, especially when you put the picture in the frame that it's unacceptable. And sometimes like people just make mistakes at work and get fired. I know it's sad, but that is kind of, that's the deal.
Yeah.
So we've had the theory on this show that the one thing that is really meaningfully different from a big picture this year with this organization is that they're trying shit again, right? Brian Schottenheimer, George Pickens, trading Micah, trading for Quinnen Williams. This is a level of ambition that we have not seen for the Cowboys in a while, probably since the days of even the Mari Cooper trade. There's only one of those. Do you buy that this is an actual shift in how they are conducting business and they're going to be more bold and aggressive? And if so, does that really move the needle here? Or is this just kind of a weird 1 year and the same dude owns the team and the same son works for the same guy, and so nothing really is actually going to change?
I think first, I sort of know what you mean, but I don't want to put hiring Brian Schottenheimer fully in the
it is and it isn't, right? I
mean, that's the thing, because it's outside the box, but it's also outside the box because nobody was even considering.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the weakest of the example, and if it was by itself, it wouldn't be part of the pattern. But when you see 3 other transactions, and then you go to, it's Jerry's guy, but also it's pretty risky when your fan base is getting more and more jaded. You wrote that piece about Cowboys nihilism 2 years ago. You could have everybody check out if this doesn't go well, and you're still just like, no, we're gonna do this. It's part of a larger tapestry,
I would agree. There were, and while safe, there were more conventional choices for
that
sure.
Could have been safe, yeah.
And so I think we're about to get a pretty good litmus test on this with the Pickens thing, which is a dicey one because you'd really like the litmus test to be something that was more like slam dunk, like I mean, obviously Luka is like the obvious one, but there's a degree of like, how certain are we that this is going to work in every sports transaction? Right, yeah. And you would prefer it not be Pickens is not that, especially for a long-term contract. But I still think that they need to at least express being very interested in him to keep people into the idea that they're that they're engaged. I think, the politics term, like the Overton window. I think the Cowboys basically, as an organization, have a pretty limited window of which they're willing to operate in with conservatism and aggression on one side. I think right now we're at like the high side of their window. It's just that I don't know how high their window goes. It doesn't go very low either.
Yeah.
And that's why they never get, they're not going to be 5-11, or I guess it would now be 5-12 or 6. That won't happen again, right? Barring injury or like a 1 year.
Yeah.
But they don't go Eagles, Rams, even the Chiefs at certain. So I think they are on the high side of that right now. And I think the reason for that is, a big part of it, Jerry brings up his age all the time. So I do think that's part of it. But also that they look at Dak and know, man, we're well over. This is 10th year in the league. Maybe we get 3. Maybe they think 5. Either way, you're 65% through his career. I would hope they look at this as a situation where they've got to be as pedal to the metal as they can. It's just that theirs doesn't go all the way down.
Yeah. I think the refrain from Jerry recently, which this is going to be another test along the lines of what you're talking about, is the Flus thing.
Yeah.
And he said, I really like to have continuity in those coordinator positions because there have been years when I pulled the trigger too fast and kind of got off it. And, I fired a guy that I didn't know necessarily that he needed to be replaced. As somebody that has worked in the Cowboys organization, their number one problem is continuity.
Yes. 100%.
It is being fat and happy. It is not really thinking you can affect winning or revenue or whatever in your role because it just doesn't matter because you've been there 20 years and your performance doesn't matter. So the Flus thing, I think, is the next – that's going to be the huge test for me is does he want to hang out with his buddy and keep him around because everybody seems to like him as a great dude? Or is he legitimately – are we going to try again? Are we trying to win again or not? Because – it can be one of those years, and we can go through that again, and then we're, okay, bye, Dak. Thank you. Thank you for your time here in a couple of years. And we're looking back going, wasn't that guy great? Yeah, what happened to all those MVP-level years he had?
Yeah, I think they'll take a shot. I think they will. I think, and who knows? I was about to say I don't put much stock into what Jerry says with regard to the continuity of the coordinators. And then say, well, the other he would never hire Brian Flores ever.
No.
But just listening to him talk about Brian Flores and like the way they play defense, it seemed to me like a page had turned a little bit in his mind.
Yeah. So you're about to have to start writing about a different team very soon.
Yeah.
I have a very complex relationship with that team as you do.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, not professionally is over here. It's being a fan and all that kind of stuff. How are you feeling having to lock back in on Mavericks? And I guess we haven't even heard we haven't had you on these airwaves talking about the last couple months as well. So how are you feeling, man?
Well, I think, I don't know if it is professional and personal separate or not. Because I do this, when it's every day, it's just like my job is just like, well, here's what's in my head today. So it's hard to separate it. But what I think is harder to separate is whether my lack of interest has been because of the underlying circumstances, the preceding events, or is it that with the Cowboys providing some level of spark for a couple months there, Nico still being with the team made it very difficult to watch, and really not just to watch, to evaluate, because it felt like they were in purgatory, right? Like, nobody can deal with this team. This guy's not going to be able to be a real GM. So why am I even paying attention if they're just stuck? They're just frozen. Well, now, so he moves on. And they've got a few different iterations of the team that they've been trying out so far this season. And that by itself makes it to me where I'm like, why don't y'all just call me when y'all figure this shit out? And like that means like possibly now I'm also sort of catching up on the Mavs like it's a TV show. Mm-hmm. So I haven't even I keep up with it. I watched Monday night's game this morning. But I still, in my regular catching up, have not met Ryan Nembhard yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm only like 18 games into the season.
Your new small
15
son.
games, yeah.
Yeah, your new small son has not been introduced to you.
Yeah. So and the other one is playing point guard, right? And so my point is, it's just not a super interesting team to me whenever they're. Well, I'll put it to you like this: because of injuries, they're not playing the way that they want to play, and I think that makes it even harder to evaluate a team because they go into the year and they're like, "We're going to be a too big team," and you're like, "Okay, well, they're going to get nuked from beyond the arc. They're going to be good defensively. God, they'll be trash in transition offense because every team 80's on ever plays slow.
Right.
And if you pull it up right now, they're like the second best transition offense scoring team. Since AD's been back the last few weeks, they're getting killed defensively, but they are good offensively. So, like, what I'm saying is that even if I were really locked in, there's not that much to lock in on to me.
Yeah.
It's now I like where they are right now, which is Cooper Flagg is a forward. And he's going to play with a big and PJ, and Najee's going to start, and whoever it is, the one, Kyrie comes back. But my point is just I knew that the first few months of the season were going to be weird as hell anyways. And so I was just kind of like, I'm not going to sort through it in real time.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm getting sort of caught up. I did watch all of the other night, which obviously,
did not suck.
No, and I mean that's the thing. I have a feel for the player now, and he's as advertised, dude. I mean he's insanely strong. He's obviously a very smart basketball player. His ability to get into the lane, his ability to run the floor, like he's just a stupid transition player. And I think we always talk about guys who could eventually score at 3 levels. Luka, obviously. That'd be the ideal with Flagg once he figures out how to shoot. But also guys who are like 3 tempo scorers. And he just seems – Luka was not going to blow by anybody, but Cooper Flagg seems to have that ability to just – his stop-start is different than Luka's, but when he decides to go, he seems like the fastest player on the floor.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think they're going to be – any team that he's the best player on is going to be super exciting. And this is just kind of a weird potluck year.
Yeah.
That I don't know that it was going to – even if you were fully invested, it's just going to be a weird – and then the Lively thing happens now.
Right. So let me ask you this, right? Obviously the vibes to start the season, like through the floor. You fire Nico, that brings the vibes up a good amount. I still don't know if anybody – it's certainly Cooper Flagg and Ryan Nembhard and all that. I don't know how many people are feeling good, per se. Is there an outcome that between now and April, when this season is over, because I don't think it's going into May, that people could walk away thinking, hey, I feel good about stuff now? Like, what has to happen between now and then? Or is that just totally off the table because there's too much baggage going on?
I don't think it's off the table. I think it depends on the person. If you want to be in, then if you didn't watch Monday night and think, well, I'm in, then you're
yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen. Like,
yeah.
There's 10 guys on Earth since we've been watching basketball that would be able to put up like what he did the other night that early in their career. So they've got what they need. I would say the most, I don't know, hope-inspiring thing they could do is figure out a way to make some trades for the future. Like, if they're actively improving their roster to be positioned to build around Flagg, that's when you can start to get excited.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, frankly, look at how long it took for them to figure out around Luka. And Luka was way more prepared for professional basketball. But we had to go through Bullock and Dorian to get to PJ and Lively and Gaff.
Yep.
So
yeah.
They don't need to have AD and Kyrie on the roster next year.
No.
So that's the biggest thing they can figure out, I think.
It's taking your medicine.
Yeah.
It's doing the stuff that's difficult right now while no one has expectation for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've been the same way. Like, there's nothing about this team outside of Cooper Flagg that has any chance of existing on the next good Mavericks team.
Well, I thought there was that guy, and now he's out for the season again. So
yeah. I mean, I hate that Live's hurt, but it is what it is. Like, he's been hurt every single year dating back to his teenage years and well back into them with lower body injuries. So that is what it is. Like, you drafted a guy really high, and he's not working out because of health reasons. But there's nothing about what AD does right now or what Clay brings to the table, or even PJ or Gaff, that is going to be on the next good playoff Mavs team besides Cooper Flagg. And I can catch up on Cooper Flagg watching YouTube highlights.
Yeah, I think seeing him in the full game flow every now and then is good. But, yeah, right now you're watching a bunch of guys who are going to be interviewed in the Cooper Flagg 30 for 30 about, I remember when he was a rook.
Yeah.
That's who these guys are.
And then your role is to be like, as a consumer, is to be like, wait, I totally forgot when that guy was on the team.
Yeah. No, Najee will show up. You'll be nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be DeAndre Jordan. It's gonna be DeAndre Jordan with Luka.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wes Matthews with Luka, right? That's exactly what it's gonna be.
Klay Thompson playing the role of Wes Matthews.
Yeah.
Exactly. Pretty well.
Blown out Achilles and all.
So there's been a lot that's led us to here in Mavs history. I saw one last night, so I don't want to steal the thunder of your answer on this, but Mavs free agent flop, exiting or entering potentially, that bugs you to this day. You're like, if we just got that guy or if we just didn't let that guy leave.
Yeah, man, this is tough because I feel like this is a personal attack.
No, it's not.
But
it's not at all.
I would say that
this one isn't a loaded. There's plenty of loaded questions.
Shut up.
Yeah,
shut up. There is a chance that some of these guys I'm about to tell you, even if they didn't work out on other teams, that doesn't mean they wouldn't have worked out here.
Just because the evidence is there that they weren't good doesn't mean.
This is the Arrested Development meme.
I want to say that there was a year that they could have had Kyle Korver for like $8 million in the early. I'm telling you, dude, Kyle Korver ended up being an all-star.
Yeah.
He was one year when
and here's Kyle Lowry was also on this
Kyle
list.
Lowry's my guy.
And really?
I love Kyle Lowry. Yeah.
Well, because you've got a huge ass.
Yeah,
you throw around.
Team huge ass.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
The conversation Mike and I have had for many, many years, and it started forever ago when I was pitching him on, like, what about Gorgie Dang? And he's like, what about Peck? Where's Peck at? I think Peck might have gotten
Peck's running different kind of business.
Yeah, that's what I heard. For real.
Yeah.
But we used to always complain that the problem was just the big fish hunting thing. And it was like they wouldn't go for B to C free agents that were signable and might have ultimately built a team that looked like Kyle Korver's Hawks team. But that team won a lot of games, and they were competitive. They were more than an 8 seed, and they were so focused on, hey, we're going for broke here,
right,
that they would miss out on a guy like Kyle Korver, who was at the time a very good signing.
Yeah.
That's the one I thought of when you sent me this morning.
Brunson last night really hurt me. I don't know why.
Yeah, that feels
Just realizing we completely fumbled that straight into hell. Like it. I don't know who's. I mean, people want to blame that on Mark. People want to blame that on Nico. I have no idea, but that's just
Rick.
Inexcusable.
Other Rick.
Well, I would say, yeah, it could be all those things. It could also just be like, hey, man, like my dad wants me to go play in New York, and my agent works there, and I have every time in the world, and I get to be a star in New York. Like, yeah, man, I might do that. Like, I don't know. That's always the one where, like, I would always feel uncomfortable assigning full blame to anybody. I feel like it's just a weird situation.
It still sucks.
It still sucks.
I'm with you.
It still is crappy.
That one's getting nothing for him. Just nothing.
Yeah,
like not offering him that in December or January, whatever he wanted to be back. Because he had like a little shoulder boo-boo the year heading into that year. And it was, I don't know how good Jalen is. And I'm like, dude, I'm with the guy all the time. He's the leader of the damn team. Like, he's that guy. Watching Brunson last night.
I just always go back to, and I wrote about this, but like to me, it's not even about that. It was always about the structure of the rookie contract where he you didn't put match rights in there. And I've never heard a good explanation. I ask people all the time, and the best explanation I've ever gotten, and I don't even think people are sure, but the best explanation I got was, it was probably Donnie doing a favor to some agent.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, cool, great. That's fun.
Yeah. So you have a lot of big thoughts about other things that aren't just like ball on ground and ball in hoop and ball in end zone.
I think every Fortune 500 company should be forced to put a position on their board left open to be voted on by the employees.
And then one by the AI, right?
No, well, no, they don't need a seat at the table. Elizabeth Warren has a plan for this anyways.
But, I mean, you and I, we didn't grow up together, but we became tight friends pretty young because we both, I think, had the same dream. The same ambition, which is to be doing something like this, but it was the same place that brought us together, the ticket. And I don't know, I think a lot about all that time I spent wanting to be a radio star, to be like, I wanted to host Drive Time on the ticket. I wanted to host mornings on the ticket. Like, I wanted to be that person. I know you wanted to be that person too, and you got way closer to it than I ever did. But I look at radio now, and specifically sports talk radio, and I don't know what I'm seeing, and I don't know how long it exists. And I know you've thought about stuff like this. So sports talk radio into the future, is it just Pat McAfee show, or is everybody going to pivot to streaming at some point and doing that, or how do you feel about it? I don't want to add answers for you.
Well, I do think that that there will always be a place for local talk. That's something I've heard Dan say a lot, and I think it's true. It's better if it's live, in my opinion. However that gets delivered, but I do think there's something to live radio, especially again local. But if you even remove the live component of it, I mean, you see the success of like the Locked On Network or a lot of these other podcasts or verticals that are all city. Mm-hmm. I don't know like how that's going. I just know like obviously that we've moved into another quarter century of media. The local parts keeps moving with it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So like the McAfee thing is interesting because it's on nationally, and it's obviously gobbling up some listeners. But from an economic standpoint, there's like a lot of advertisers who want to advertise on something like the ticket who can't afford it. Mm-hmm. But they can with us. They can maybe with something like Locked On. So I think there's like an economy available for local content to work with local businesses to talk about local things. Like, I don't know how replicable what we're doing is, but that is what we're doing. And I think that's possible because now what I don't know is, look at, for example, All City. It breaks down. That's not a general talk show. Here's Mavs, Rangers, Stars, Cowboys.
All the time.
And there's no talk of what's happening at your school board or the line outside for the iPhone at Macy's and whatever local thing that's happening that you used to still cover with Drive Time radio. I don't know where that goes. That may be dying, but yeah, I mean, I think people want people that they recognize as either being from where they are or fans of the same thing they are, talking about the stuff that they're into. And there's businesses that need to be marketed. I think there's an economy there for that. The radio side of it, obviously, is like the economics are what they are. I mean, there's a reason we left, and it was obvious the stuff that played out publicly. But I mean, at a base level, it was also like, well, I'm 37. Like, let's look at the next 20 years of how this industry looks like it's going. It doesn't seem like it's going to come back. What it looks like next, nobody really knows. But I do think, people need human connection. In fact, I think it's probably, you hear about like the parasocial relationship, the term that they use now for like, why podcasts are popular. And I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Yep. People want to feel connected to something. This is a way to do it.
Yeah. I wish I would have written it down the time I realized it or felt it, but I was still working at the ticket, and I realized like the dream I had of either me being, I'm not choked up. I don't know why my voice did that. Being
it's a serious time in your life,
being a Drive Time host and getting paid what I'm worth, or being afternoon drive time, or even middays would have been fine. I don't give a shit. And making like a good amount of money, that dream was dead.
Yeah.
It died with probably like Reiner's era of people, or maybe the Musers are the last ones that get paid what they're worth in that industry and go forward. But I remember it, and I was like, the thing that I put my life into and my college degree into and all my other professions that I do on the side that help pay my rent so I can do this other thing are building towards an industry that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing that it exists at all, right? That there's like, local talk where you can just, back then people were making a lot of money, and now that seems crazy because you can't imagine, but that's just, That's part. But not to say like, oh, I don't do it for the money. But you know, when I got into it and I thought, hey, if I really do well at this, there's like a number that I would have made.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, I did really well at it. And the number that I make is like less than half of that number I had when I started it in my head.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter to me. Like, it's not like I was like, well, I'm going to change careers then.
Yeah.
You know, it's still, if you do it, if you can get it right, it's still a good amount of money. And, you know, this is like, I'm just in a dream, honestly. Like, I get to do whatever I want, like, pretty much all the time. And it's like the greatest. I'm like one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. So it's hard for me to complain too much about how it worked out.
Yeah. We got a whole table of young hot dads here, so we should probably do a little bit of dad sports stuff. When I found out we're having a girl, I was relieved because I didn't have to do all the sports stuff. I could figure out the parenting stuff, and then eventually at some point maybe figure out the sports stuff. He's got a girl.
Yep.
You have a new monster on your hands with a boy. How are you approaching that in relation to teaching him about this world that you have dedicated a lot of your life to?
I think about it too much. You know, you don't want to be overbearing. But then the flip side of that is, so my dad was like around. You know, I saw him every other weekend. He was in my life, but he didn't live there.
Mm-hmm.
And my stepdad was around, or not around. He was very involved too, but he wasn't really into sports at all. It was pretty much me and my brother. My brother's 3 years younger. It was very apparent from the time he was like 5 that he was a much better athlete, not than me, but than like anybody we knew.
Mm.
So as he got older, you know, I started learning about the shit that you could do. And this is 25 years ago, but the stuff that you could do, like fast twitch and MJP and like getting on like the stuff that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I didn't do any of that really.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I would have like played college sports had I, but I want my kids to have like the opportunity to do stuff that will help nurture their physical development if they want to do it. So it's like, you don't want to be overbearing, but you're also like, I know you're only 3, but I just signed you up for the Dodge Passing Academy because it's down the street and they got it. So, and then the thing that complicates that is, I think we probably do it with our girls too, but somehow we're more inclined to do it with their intelligence.
Mm.
At least that's how I feel. But with my son, I really have to resist the urge to, like, when I watch him move around, be like, this is fucking Walter Payton. Like, this kid. Like, dude, he's so big. He's so fast.
He's a monster.
He's so fluid. He has like a competitive like streak to him. He's very sweet boy, but I just feel like by osmosis, he's just been raised by ball. Like they come watch when I play flag football. He knows it's on TV every day. He knows how to get my attention. So like, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously, I'm not like a psycho with this. You're
gonna be a stage dad.
Not at all. And I really will, because I'm aware of that. I think that's the first step, is like being aware of preventing yourself from going to that level. But man, as presently constructed, you know, my daughter, I make her play sports, legitimately make her, because people scoff at that, right? Like, oh, again, but I think you have to just do hard stuff, and you have to do it in a team setting. And every week she gets better, and not even like she performs better. It's just that it goes better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm forcing her to play sports. My son cannot get out there quick enough. Like he's amped.
Yeah. This next question is not a trick for you to say the ticket is the answer, but
we'll get there.
I saw something about Sports Illustrated the other day, and it just like almost made me.
That's my whole version of what you guys just talked about.
It gave me like soul rot. I was like, we fucking destroyed another thing that was good and just tanked it. Which sports media outlet, I guess in our professional time, has declined the most, or which one's like I used to love this thing. It used to bring me so much joy and have meaning to me personally and in my professional life. And now it's like this, I don't know. It's like this ghost ship of just bad vibes.
Yeah, I don't want to say the ticket because I would have too much to do with that. But it is
flex.
It is sort
what a flex.
Kind of the. It is kind of the same pattern of, not that they like it's private equity, but it's sort of that pattern of like we're gonna figure out how to increase profits on this while cutting costs. Mm-hmm. And for sure, we're not increasing costs.
Yeah,
to grow the product.
Yeah,
that's out of the question.
God forbid. Yeah.
So, while that has some components to that, man, that's a really good question, and I think that what, this is a bad answer, but because it happened because of Hulk Hogan. But Deadspin
used to rule. I was gonna say Deadspin,
I was obsessed, right? I mean, it was my homepage and you think about the talent that came out of there.
Yeah.
And there was like real good work done there.
Yeah. Well, and look, there still is at Defector.
Yeah, of course. And I'm a paid Defector subscriber.
Yep, as am I.
I still read like when a time presents itself, but Deadspin was just it was like again, I think I overuse this word, but it like created the sports milieu that I was like in, like comedically, who we were going to make fun of, who we thought was cool, like who we thought was good, bad. That was largely dictated by like Craigs and McGarry and
Craigs was there when I freelanced for them. So I did a couple things, and the Craigs genius of it was like, the proto era is Will Leach when he starts it.
Yeah.
AJ Delario takes it to where it's like basically like sports tabloid stuff. And Craigs is like, what if we just keep that spirit of the first two things, but then we also incorporate a lot of really good work too. And that's what led to the Manti Te'o thing.
Yeah.
Like that was Tommy's Deadspin, and Marchman took it over from there. But like the Craigs Deadspin, one of the things that I contributed to, which I thought was just the perfect Deadspin distillation was, you remember The Price of Fame?
Yeah.
Where they did a whole thing, that whole series. It's like, we bought someone's Hall of Fame vote. We're not telling you who yet. And then they commissioned essays from a bunch of internet sports writers, and I was one of them, about like why this person should be in the Hall of Fame. And so it's a series that's really good. And that's the time of the internet when sports writing gets really experimental, right? That's when Grantland's around. That's when the Classical, which is where I came through, was around.
Yeah.
That's where Sports on Earth is around. And Deadspin did that, where it's just like, we could play with the format and we could do all this stuff. So here are our sensibilities that are fun, but here's how we're pushing the boundaries with writing. And then you'd have this whole great essay series. I wrote about Kenny Rogers. And like my whole argument is basically like, if you have the Hall of Fame, what it really is a museum, you need to have people who are emblematic of teams. And there's nobody more emblematic of the Texas Rangers of the 1990s, not because of these hitters, but because of some dude with a 4.01 ERA being your ace. You're just trotting him out there and you're trying hard, and he should remind you of a whole half decade's worth of teams.
I love that argument.
So we all write these essays, and at the very end, after all this good work is done, Deadspin's like, Dan Le Batard, talk about it, Dan. And Dan's like, I sold my Hall of Fame vote, never voting again. This is a bunch of bullshit. And then it's like pointing out for 2,000 words like why the Hall of Fame is ass. It's like nobody else would do that.
Yeah.
No.
It was great. And then Hulk Hogan happened.
Yeah, but you said it all. Like, it just sort of made me feel like I'm part of a group of like smart sports fans, but who are not like too smart.
It's like
who
the
are
last
not like
good comment section too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's like, you get like PFT from there. So I don't know. That honestly that might be it.
Yeah.
I was a regular. I read everything published to Grantland, everything.
Yeah.
But that feels like it lives on in many different places, whereas like the Deadspin thing is like a moment in time.
Yes, I mean, we don't have blogs anymore.
Right.
And that's, I mean, that's a good answer. I mean, Sports Illustrated's the other one. We could go about that all day. That one breaks my heart.
Yeah. Well, just being of the age where like growing up, figuring out how to exist in sports and sports media, and these things are like your contemporaries, and you're like, I really enjoy what they're doing at this side, or that's part of my personality now, of trying to be on that level of what this person is or what this group of writers is, and then watching it die like the saddest dinosaur's death
I mean, I don't know what it's like on you guys' side of the fence, because I guess now with this show, I'm more in your world than I've ever been. But I've always been on the writing side, and that's how you and I know each other. And so for me, I don't know if it's like this on the radio and TV side. Every year, the number of people I come up with shrinks. That's still in the industry. I know so many people who write who don't have a place to work anymore doing this stuff, who pivoted a long time ago. And just because, like, I mean, economics, but also like there's a certain, I mean, we had a 10-year window where the internet really changed how writing was done, and now that window is slammed shut. And so it's interesting working as an editor and building what we do on the online side and working with you and working with words, because a lot of the times I'm like, and I say this all the time, but we don't have training grounds for young writers anymore. We have people who can do it at the level that we're at, or we have people who are nowhere close to that, and the waypoints in between. Like my whole career, or how I got, is starting off writing for free because those places existed all over the place. Like, people would have the legitimate argument, like, should you write for free or not? I'm like, of course you should, because there's so many places that were free and you could meet people, and then those people would introduce you to paid gigs, and then you'd freelance and you'd do paid gigs, and then someone would hire you from that. That was my whole trajectory, and then that's how I became kind of made, so to speak. That doesn't exist anymore. And so for me, I see what it was, and I'm just like, the pathway, I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have too. You've gone and talked back college classes or high school classes, and like 10 years ago, I had good advice.
Yeah.
I don't have good advice anymore.
Yeah.
Just because the way in and like teaching people how to start to do the sort of stuff we do. If it's a newspaper track, it's different. Those are still, as bad as the newspaper business is, at least it's still functioning.
Yeah.
A lot of what we do, and like the really interesting, thoughtful stuff that colors outside the lines a bit, man, like I don't even know anymore how you start.
I think you have to enter a relationship with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and
then write a book. And 24 people will buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you'll get a job of Vanity Fair out of it. So
I think you have to be a VP at a basketball team and then use all your professional equity to make a stupid TV show that's just jokes for 22 minutes straight.
And then you bum around with a magazine writer, and then here we are.
Yeah, I think this is made. I think these are the good times, boys. What are you talking about?
This is it. Should we do some buzzer beaters?
Let's do some fast ones.
You don't have to rush. I just wanted to see what time it was.
No, this is the.
I'm not used to not having a clock.
This is the part of the
actual
show.
format of the show.
Yeah,
we just we go turbo at the end.
Right.
We do indie. Worst Cowboy game you had to live stream this season?
Man, it's tough it's got to be Arizona, because like, dude, we really thought this is about to be. Look at this. You've got Arizona. You've got Oakland, Vegas. You'll make a trade. That one, man. And the thing that. Look at Arizona's losses. They're not as bad as you think. Arizona's lost like 8 games by a combined 20 points.
Kobe Brissett, NFL quarterback.
Hey, garbage time lowered. Like I think he's had like multiple touchdown passes dating back to like when he started, but they've been down by like 24 plus in every game. So he's garbage time. He is just a monster when you get out. I thought you were going to say the Panthers game because the bleed out.
We didn't do that one.
Oh, you didn't do that one? Okay.
No.
Okay, that
Thank God. That would have been it.
That would have been just watching
7-minute
Rico
bleed
just
out.
suck your soul out of your body. Yeah.
Yep.
Is George Pickens a Cowboy next year on a contract term bigger than 1 year?
No.
Okay.
Franchise, man.
Franchise tag?
If anything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I want them to, but I just, I'm up and down, right? You're used to the Cowboy wave. Hey, we learned our lesson. Now we learned the wrong lesson. We learned a new lesson. We unlearned that lesson. I wouldn't be surprised at all. They'll draft a receiver in the first round, one of their first round picks.
That'd be awesome.
And then that'll take that guy 3 years to develop, and he'll be good for the next quarterback. Then that guy will be so
it's so Romo in here.
Yeah,
it's just Mekhi Lemon. We weren't expecting he was gonna be there at 13. We have to take him. What are you talking about?
I'll endorse that suggestion regardless of any sense.
Yeah. Is Gorgie Jang a top 10 center?
There was a time where if you cook the numbers right.
Cook the numbers.
Sort of a PER sort of.
I like that he just can't say no.
I spent so much time. You know what's funny about this is that a few of them actually happened. I used to spend all of my basketball research time trying to find the Mavericks a center, which. Because they never drafted, it was obvious that it was going to have to be somebody else's that they couldn't use.
Yep.
And so many such cases here. Nerlens Noel became expendable, in Philadelphia.
Happened for a brief moment.
Willie Cauley-Stein became expendable because of DeMarcus Cousins.
Also happened for a brief moment.
Alex Lynn at one point in Phoenix because they had Nurk, I think, at the time before they moved him to Portland. They had another
Ayton.
And Ayton.
Yeah.
Then late. So there were just – you were always like, dude, they've got to find somebody, but they didn't. They never were able to get the guy when they needed him. And, like, I think we've joked about Dang – they had Peck at the time, and he was out of Louisville. He was relatively just like, dude, there's got to be a guy somewhere in the league they can. And so I used to argue with Mike about Gorgie Dang a lot.
If you could go back and experience one of these things for the first time, you got to pick one. Jackass?
Oh, hell yeah.
Chappelle Show? I think you should leave. Or Zins?
Man, you did it. You stacked it. It's Jackass.
It's Jackass? Okay.
Yeah. Because the rest of that stuff or the other two, what was the second one?
Chappelle Show.
Yeah, those are just like excellent versions of stuff I've already seen. Like I'm as an aside, like getting into, did you guys ever watch SCTV?
Mm-mm.
I watched the John Candy documentary recently, and SCTV was like the sketch show in Canada they did, SNL analogous.
I almost put Tom Green on here.
And so I'm like going back to Tom Green would have actually been number 2 because those are just like Deadspin. That's like what am I watching? Like this, the Chappelle Show is a better version of a sketch show, right? Yeah. But with Jackass, you're like, we can do that.
Yeah, Chappelle Show is like Mad TV, like cranked to 13.
Yeah, and dialed in.
Yeah.
And that is a good comp. Chappelle Show is closer to Mad TV than any other sketch show.
Follow up to the Gorgie Jang question.
How's there a follow up? He played like
have the 76ers won an NBA title?
No, and people. This is why it's hard being me, but it's a burden that I wear gladly and carry gladly, which is that I once made a bet. $500, and I think my payout ended up being $700 or $800. After
you kept buying in. You buy in years.
And the reason for this is the American economy wishes that it could get the mileage out of the dollar that I have gotten and we have gotten over that bet. That bet was
76ers trade
forever. But I mean, that's the sort of stuff we used to talk about. You said at the beginning, Mike, like big picture. I remember when I heard what the 76ers were doing with Hinkie, it was like, I want to bet on this. Like, they're going to do this harder than anybody ever has. And they did. And I
remember the Markelle Fultz trade as the one was like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like I think the highest compliment I could pay a podcast is the rights to Ricky Sanchez. I don't know if you've listened to that show before.
I'm familiar.
It's the best Sixers podcast. They're so good. I don't really care about the Sixers, but when a big Sixers thing happens, I pop into that show for an episode. I'm just
Is that Spike's show?
Yeah, it's Spike.
Yeah,
and Michael Levin. And I'm just like, I want to spend 45 minutes with you dudes. Fill me in on your brain state. And there have been like 10 different points in that run. The high points and then the crashes.
Oh, and the Kawhi rattle in. I got to listen to that episode. I need to go back and find that one. That's got to be.
And so I remember the Fultz episode. Because it's like, I want to know what they think. And it was just like the most euphoria you could ever have, short of actually winning the title. It was like, we did it!
Dude, I was reminded of him the other day. I don't know if it was his birthday or something, but that I don't, obviously, there's a million reasons why it didn't work out, but he was so good in college. He came to Fort Worth. Yeah. He was at TCU.
I was living in LA, and so I went when they played USC. So I just want to see this dude play, and he just carved them up.
But there's a million different points in the Sixers journey where you're like, damn, like if this instead of that, this instead of that. So I was obsessed with it. It was, it was like the Astros or the Cubs, but to a much greater degree.
Yep. The Kawhi rattle in corner 3 where he falls down out of bounds and sits down, that wasn't even to get them to the finals.
No.
But I was so invested because I wanted to be able to quote that they never even made an Eastern Conference Finals in this stretch.
I know.
And I can still quote
as soon as the ball went out, I was like,
that they didn't even get to the series before the one they were supposed to.
All right, well, ask a few more real questions. I think Machine's done trolling for right now.
That's good basketball talk.
That is good.
Who's digging into Markelle Fultz?
Oh, man.
Dario Saric.
Ball knowers. Your favorite Dallas athlete right now?
Man, that's a good question.
Because the obvious candidates
have been
shipped
traded.
out.
Yeah, and those were like basics, anyways. Derek Lively would have been up there. Javonte Williams would be up there, but I think we sat down with him at camp, and he's just he's not to say he's weird. He's just a very intense guy, and I love it. But yeah, that's not even a great answer because I don't know that he'll be here next year. Right now, it's George Pickens.
Like, who
honestly,
also might not be here now.
Yeah, but I'd have to say he does things in a very unconventional way. Like there's guys you see run routes and go up and get balls, and you're just like, God, it's just butter. And he's like, somebody said on our show, and this is a joke. This is not an accusation. It's a joke that he like plays football like he's drunk. Like he runs weird route. Like, and I remember reading a Ringer article some years ago.
I was just thinking about that.
Where it's like they're interviewing DBs and they're like, he's harder to cover because he's just weak. Like he's running weird routes. Like he doesn't do this like anyone else.
Yep.
So he's just got a little bit of an alien element to him. I also love he's one of the only guys who will contrast the royal and navy blue in his cowboy uniform. Look out for that. But yeah, I'd have to go him. GP.
It's a good one.
Who wins the championship first, Cowboys or Mavs?
Mavs.
Okay.
That is
Jerry's not going to see a title.
And here's why. Otherwise, you're saying they're going to win it in the next 2 or 3 years. Because after that, you're betting on a complete – I mean, unless they decide that they're going to do whatever 2029's version of Baker Mayfield is.
Well, I mean, there was also a time when we thought that they were toast after Romo, and then they backdoor their way after 3 attempts to get somebody else.
You can't count on another non-first round.
No, you can't.
And so at that point, I do think the Cowboys are like they have one of the best scouting departments. It's obviously they can develop players.
It's so annoying. They're going to be good next year.
Yeah,
the defense is going to be good because they're going to dump 2 first-round picks in there, and it's going to level off. We're going to be like, oh, everything's right with whatever new thing they added. Changed the entire tide, and it's like, no, they just gave a shit, and their picks lined up on the right time.
Yeah, but it'll work. But if it doesn't work for those couple years, then you're betting basically who's got a better chance, year 4+ Cooper Flagg or year 0 new Cowboys quarterback. And I think that one's easy.
Yeah, okay. Fair. True or false, your favorite Dumb Zone guest, Mr. Brandon Aubrey, hits a 70-yard field goal before his NFL career is over.
True.
I think that's probably an easy one, but I agree.
Yeah, the limiting factor is situation, context, coaches. He said something to us the other day that I can't stop thinking about, which was, he's very humble dude. So I think I said something to him like, did you not think like by now there'd be more guys hitting at your distance like over the last couple of years? And his point was like, it really just comes down to, do you hit the first couple they let you try? He's like, because after that, they trust you. They've like, I've seen him do it before.
It's like school tryouts.
Yeah.
Like
he
how
basically
I ended up
was
being
like
the kickoff guy because I just knocked the piss out of one the first time. And I was like,
that's basically
your job now. Yeah.
He said, if you miss the first couple, they're not going to let you take a crack at it. So he's just kind of, as you said, made eventually somebody's going to let him try.
Yeah. What is your favorite Kemp spin story that you've done?
Probably Rick Pitino, because it was super descriptive, and I think most of this reporting was at least old version aggregated or blog aggregated by Deadspin back in the day, but it was just the level of detail. The name of the restaurant where he had knocked this woman up was Porcini's. And they'd even described like the red and white tablecloth. It was like an Italian restaurant that he had relations with her. And it was just a gnarly story, dude. He knocked this woman up. He sent his strength coach to the reproductive clinic with her to handle that. And then the strength coach and the woman ended up getting in a relationship together and like blackmailing Rick Pitino. And then all the while, if you remember, Rick Pitino at one point So they got into a recruiting scandal regarding having like women on campus and on-campus dorms.
Mm-hmm.
And you may remember that the name of the dorm where all that was happening had been renamed for Rick Pitino's brother-in-law, who had been killed in 9/11. So like the basketball dorm where they were running like escorts was named after. So he was just like the guy who was always, the ultimate, I'm just here for the kids. And it's like, dude, come on. Like, what are we? The college ones are the best.
Yeah.
Because it's just everybody's
Well, they just like
BSing.
don't get caught in like the first trap because no one's like
never. And then by the time they do,
that.
there's like this entire litany of like, whoa, can of snakes we got here.
I think they're less
20 stories.
Somewhat less nefarious people because they don't know what they can get away with. But then nobody's checking them.
Yeah.
But back in the day, no one was checking them.
Yeah.
Like now,
And it's funnier stuff like girls at like a dorm. It's not like it was an assault, but it's the renaming of the dorm. I don't know, man. That's
the Arkansas coach is Petrino, right?
Yeah.
How are their names so close?
Well,
He was at Louisville.
Yeah.
Like he was Lamar Jackson's coach, right?
He's back.
Yeah,
He's back at Arkansas.
Yeah.
He made his way back.
Yeah.
Proof that nobody's ever really canceled.
Exactly. All right, man. I love you. That's all we got.
If they on the right deal, he plays. he plays.
What about Corky May?
That's where we're going. That's it. He's Jake Kemp. Thank you for hanging with us, dude.
Turn it off before he does more. Ruins his reputation.
We talked a lot of sports today. I feel like even more sports than usual. I feel like we need to do something light to end the show. So we're gonna play a game. It's a real simple game. It's a Dallas sports jersey game. Mike and I are going to go back and forth. I'll let my dear pal Mike Marshall start first. He's gonna say an athlete who wears the number 1. I'm gonna say number 2. He's gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 4. We're gonna see how high we can get until one of us screws this up. And to make sure that we are right, because even we make mistakes, we have a very special judge to make sure we're here. Who's behind the laptop? It's Kevin Turner. You know him.
Kevin Turner.
You know him from the Eagle. You know him from the One Star Dallas Cowboys podcast on the Haymaker Network. Best Cowboys show anywhere. And he's our good buddy. So
Best game show host in DFW.
Facts.
As voted on by me. That wasn't in Best of Big D, but it kind of was.
It will be.
It was
be.
insinuated.
It was implied, heavily implied. So KT's going to make sure that you don't screw up any more than we probably already will screw up. So
I've got odd numbers starting off already, so I'm already working on those. I'm going to go, okay?
Go.
And you yell if we say something wrong.
Okay.
Or you can challenge, of course. But
Yeah,
I'm going to start at 1. You got 2.
Yeah.
Dennis Smith Jr., number 1.
I was going to go Jaden Hardy, but the Dennis deserves more respect.
Yeah.
We'll keep it obvious. Jason Kidd, number 2.
Jason, wore 2 numbers here. So
He did. Yeah.
Number 3, Roderick Bobois.
Excellent. With all due respect to QB1, I got to go Michael Finley, the Dallas Mavericks, number 4 of our youth.
Okay, nice. I could also go Jason Kidd here. Which would kind of be cheating. Josh Howard as well.
I will do Josh Howard's buddy, Marquise Daniels, for number 6.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, that's accurate. Number 7, I'm going to go Trayvon Diggs.
Okay.
Like that one?
Sorry, Pudge.
Just skip past Pudge.
There's only one man who could be number 8. He even filed a lawsuit about it. It's Troy Aikman.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
Romo, number 9 for the Mavs and for the Cowboys. Some people say.
Yeah. 10, Michael Young.
10, Michael Young. Okay. 11, Drew Bledsoe.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I was like, we're going Kyrie.
I go deep in the bag.
You going to Darvish?
Yeah.
No, you go deep in the bag.
Deep in the bag.
I got 12, Roger Staubach.
Yeah, that's the only one. 13, Jalen Brunson.
Your boy.
Yeah.
Your guy. 14, Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn. Okay. 15. That one's tough, actually. I might get stumped on that one. Number 15. I don't know if I have one.
I'm a pal, so I'm going to give you a hint. There was a Dallas Cowboy who switched to that number very recently.
Is Overshown 15? No, Overshown 0.
No, he's not on the team anymore.
Oh, he's not on the team anymore.
Or last year, though.
Who wore 15 last year?
Started last year. Not the number you would remember him for, but it's the number that he switched to.
Damn. I'm not going to get that. I suck because I don't have any. Oh, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel?
Yeah, he's not number 15. He's number.
No, but he wore it.
Yeah,
yeah. To be fair, that's a number I couldn't. That's the only one that I thought of. Like I couldn't think of another 15, which feels like an obvious number that somebody should have, and I've made favorites.
Yeah, I suck at this because I don't know any stars numbers. I know
also,
0.
Would have accepted Brad Davis.
Oh, good one.
I take it back.
Screw me. Screw me.
All right. Well, we'll go a little further. We'll go until next screw because whatever. It's a fun product.
Yeah.
Fun show. 16. This might be the one that I screw up. Brett Hull.
Brett Hull. Nice. I was gonna say Peja. 17. Quincy Carter.
Okay. All right. There you go.
You like that one?
18. Not a lot of 18s. Mitch Moreland.
That's right.
I think Mitch Moreland's 18.
I think you're right. Okay.
Let's go to the polls.
To the judge we go. He's right. You're definitely right.
Hey, Mitch Moreland.
You're definitely right. 19. Damn, that one's tough too. Who has it right now? Who's the dude that's is Flournoy's not 19, is he? Bryce Butler definitely wore 19. Bryce Butler.
I was gonna go. So there was. I was gonna go Keyshawn for the old school Cowboys.
Okay.
But there's also Juan Gonzalez. That's the other one.
Wando, 19. Yeah, that's a good call.
What's next? 20?
Yeah.
Actually is a famous 20. That's like maybe the most OG person we're gonna put on this list anywhere. 20 is Mel Renfro. The greatest Cowboys defensive back in history.
That's true. Yeah, you don't say that about Everson.
We're gonna get to him.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
21. I just had one, and then while you're talking, made me forget it. Well, Ezekiel was 21 for a while. Deion Sanders, 21.
Yeah.
Julius Jones, 21.
Yep.
Yeah.
22, Emmett.
Nice. Okay, that works.
Yes, that's low-hanging fruit.
23. For some reason, I'm thinking of Maurice Ager. I don't know why. Mo Ager.
Mo Ager 23?
I think Mo Ager was 23.
You're right. I think you're right. There has to be better 23 around here, but that works.
Yeah.
13.
No. Who's 23?
I thought he was 23 for a minute.
Dojo is 20. I don't know. I'm trapped on weird Mavs right now. 23. Baseball 23s? I don't know. Any baseball
there's a baseball 23.
Is there for as a Ranger?
Mo Ager works.
Mo Ager works. Got him, coach.
We also have accepted Delonte West.
23, really?
I'm sorry.
13.
Sorry,
13.
Yeah, I was going to say Delonte was 13, I thought.
Yeah.
Mo Ager does not work.
Mo Ager does not. He's back off the board.
Mo Ager.
Son of a bitch.
Cedric Sabalos?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That would have worked. I was thinking Teixeira.
Yeah. Big Tex. Yeah.
Big Tex. That was the one.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever you miss one, you should have to do the next one.
Oh, we changed the order?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be forced. So Jim Jackson, 24.
24. Okay. 25.
I got one. I got a good one.
Oh God. Joe Nodike.
Joey was, yeah. I was gonna say Rafael Palmeiro.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
26. Oh.
See, I had a 26.
You had a 26.
There's a 26 that's actually a pretty good one. The 27 is going to get dicey.
No, it's not. I got 27. Take 26. I got 27.
Okay. All right. 26 is Yuri Letnin.
Yeah, I was about to say there is a star. There's definitely a star. 27, Vladimir Guerrero.
Oh, nice. Okay. 28.
I got a funny one, I think.
Oh God! What? Oh! There's a good one though. I want to know the funny one. The good one is Darren Woodson.
Woody's a great one. Woodsonrun.com. I think Ron Washington wore 28.
No. He had 38. Ron was 38. Ron was 38 because I had that in my head because I was just like, I could be okay through 38, and once we get to 40, I don't know anything. But 38 was Ron. I'm pretty sure 38 is Ron.
You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Yeah.
28.
29.
Jan Mahinmi, I think, was 28.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yes, and DJ Benga.
And Bengal.
Yeah,
wow.
I remember this too because I remember thinking Jan Mahinmi when he came here. It's like, this is just DJ Benga. Like,
what an incredible number for Mavs big men.
Springy, young, big dude. Yeah.
29.
29. I have a 29? I don't think I have a 29.
Dante Jones. Check me.
See, I like how we're going about this. You're just trying to pick like any Mav that works because that's your brand. It's mine. I'm just picking notable athletes in the area.
No Mav has ever worn
Ooh, an opportunity.
Yeah.
An opportunity
Yeah.
is there. There's got to be a football player 29.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right? Who wears 29? He's
Running back.
baby toddler.
He's a
running back. Tashard Choice. No, Tashard Choice was
No, I thought he was like
No.
34.
no. He was a 20. I think he was a 20. 29. He said Kevin's saying running back 29. Adrian Beltre's 29, dude.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Adrian Beltre.
DeMarco Murray. Great one.
There you
Great
go. That's
one.
also
Great
good.
one.
30, 30,
Great
30,
one.
30, 30.
It's got to be a Anthony Brown.
There you go.
Yeah.
31 is the Jet.
Jet. Yeah. 32. Brandon Wright.
Like you went there. I was just be like Josh
Brandon
Hamilton.
Bass. Brandon Bass and Brandon Wright.
Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, they're
Lot
not as
of
important to the culture as Brandon Bass. Come on.
It's true. I love Brandon Bass
Yeah.
back in the day. 33, Tony Dorsett.
Dorsett. Okay. I think 34 might have been Brandon Wright. Bass was 32. Brandon Wright's 34.
Malik Davis, also 34.
Yeah.
35. No. Sorry, bro. Sorry. The Haymaker Network says you didn't get the credit. It was actually Mike Young, so you're not in this game.
Yeah.
Or John Daniels, you're not in this game.
35.
Marty Turco.
That's a great call. You never think about goalies' numbers.
Yeah. That was 29 too. That came in Ottinger.
36.
I have one.
We have one.
I have a
Oh.
36. A true edgelord, CJ Wilson.
Oh, damn. straight razor razor
edge.
boy, whatever.
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
edge boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it starts getting dicey.
37's tough, dude.
Dude, there's. Oh, wait. There is one. There is one. I don't know if there's any more. 37 is the gambler, Kenny Rogers.
You're right. That's a great call.
And once we get to 38,
That's Ron
it's
Washington's
Wash.
number, obviously.
39, there is a 39. It's
I know
Brandon,
39. Brandon Carr.
Brandon Carr.
Brandon
And
Carr.
I think I'm cooked at this point.
40 is
was some
Walt Williams. No,
Oh.
40 is
I thought
what's his damn name?
there was some random Cowboy safety like Danny McRae who had with 40. There's some
There
random.
was.
It was Danny McRae? Oh!
There's a Mav though that was legit. That I can't remember his name right now. He was a center. Donaldson. James Donaldson with 40.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harrison Barnes 40. Yeah.
That's good. 41.
Dirty.
42.
Maxey
43.
43.
There's a Mav who wore 43. Oh,
What is Rafe? No.
no. It wasn't. Was it Sean Williams? SHAWNE Williams?
Crabman? Sean Williams? No, I think he wore a lower number.
Was that Walt? Was it Walt the Wizard?
Walt. Yeah.
That was Walt the Wizard. 44 is Sean Bradley.
Bradley.
45.
AC Green.
There we go.
46. I don't know if anyone's ever worn 46.
Okay,
Damn,
so we'd have to go
Mavs, I always
football
get
numbers. And
football.
no cool football player has 46.
46?
I think that's probably where we should stop this game.
I told you we were going to die at 46.
Yeah.
Everyone dies at 46.
I mean, I would have died at 40 if I didn't think of Danny McRae, even though I should remember Harrison Barnes. Anyways,
Yeah.
that was a fun game.
Yeah, we know sports.
We know sports. That was a fun game. Kevin Turner's a fun friend. You are a fun audience. We're going to take the rest of the year off. We will see you the second week of January. But we love y'all. We hope you have great holidays. Have a happy new year. Thanks for rolling with us. First year of StrongSide 2026. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, guys.